Hey ballers, it's your favorite host Treasure Diggins with Baller Story, and today's unheard of baller might be a familiar face to y'all. But before we get into his conversation, I'm wearing anything. Literally anything. Anything is a clothing brand in New York City that has sweatsuits like this and beanies. But I don't have on a beanie, but make sure you guys shop anything. Hi ballers, I have the unheard of baller,
Jamel Zellner.
Zelder.
Zellner, Zellner.
Okay. Can you
I got a mic on, I forgot. I could talk into them. I'm trying to talk into your mic, I'm getting confused. My fault.
What did you write on the board?
Alright, so, I wrote my name, and then I wrote for who am I, anything, because, you can really be anything you want. So whatever you think I am, I am. And then my message is, any and everything is possible in this lifetime. Just like I said, when you put your mind to whatever you want to do, it's achievable. So, do it.
And when did you discover that?
That's a good question. When did I discover that? Probably like going into college, for real. Like when I came here, when I realized I was actually in college and I, achieved my childhood dream of going to college in Florida. So that's when I actually realized, but I believed it always since probably like second grade, because that's when I like had the vision. So, yeah.
Where are you from and what sport do you play?
I'm from I'm from the Bronx, New York, and from kindergarten to pretty much, I guess now I played basketball, but in 8th grade and some parts of high school I ran cross country. I don't know if I said that, but I did cross country too.
You was doing cross country with your school or outside of school?
Yeah, it was with my middle school. Shout out Success Academy, but it was with Harlem East Success Academy in Harlem, obviously, and the motive behind it was if I did cross country, it would just prepare me for the season, and then it was like from September to like maybe October-ish. It wasn't that long, but it was just for cardio purposes, and I actually enjoyed it, so I put it under my sports belt and carry it with me.
So they had you running through the woods and stuff?
Yeah, you know what Van Cortlandt Park is at?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had us running like no, that's not 6 miles. It's probably like 3. I'm trying, like a 3-mile run, and we would do that like every weekend. And then the highest I ever scored was probably like 12 out of like 60 runners, I think. So
Like you made 12th place? Oh, that's tough.
yeah, that's like the highest I ever got. And I don't know what I was doing, but I was running in Jordans too. Like I didn't have no running shoes. I was like running. I was running in Jordan 8s. I ran in Kyrie's one time. Like I had
Your
no
basketball
running shoes.
shoes?
Yes,
Oh,
I had no
wow.
running shoes, and then I ran in 11s one time. I was just doing anything,
Anything.
literally.
Okay. So when did you start hooping?
So when I started, probably I want to say like a little around first grade. My uncle, he like always wanted to play basketball, or he always liked the idea of playing basketball. So, being his younger nephew, I would just always be around him, and then I just started to like basketball. So he kind of put me onto the game. But it grew for me. Probably I want to say like from 3rd to 4th grade. That was like the first time I played on a like basketball on an actual team. It was on my school team. Shout out Success, yes. Shout out Success Academy again, Bronx 1. That was like the original school I went to. But it started there, man. And from there, I just like fell in love like with just playing the game and just what it like did for me, because it just brought fulfillment and enjoyment. So that's when I got actually like wanted to pursue something with it. So
Was there a particular moment that made you realize you wanted to keep playing?
yeah, like the times where like I got hurt, believe it or not, like being hurt, and then just wanting to go back on the court and just be a kid and just run around and just do rambunctious things as a little kid. That's like what really stuck with me. So that's like the main takeaway from my childhood, and just playing basketball as a child is just being a kid and just feeling or just remembering the moments of playing basketball and just wanting to always be on the court even when I'm hurt. So that's like really stuck with me for real.
Would you say you had more fun back then playing?
Oh, for sure, because when you're a kid, you don't really have no like worries. You just you innocent, naive, so you don't really care about nothing else but what makes you happy, and that's literally what being a kid is. It's just doing the things that make you happy with no, regards to life whatsoever. Just running it like you like a chicken with your head cut off. You just running around doing anything. So
Anything to keep you happy.
literally, you see, you get the motto.
So when did you discover that you wanted to play outside of being a school player?
Well, it wasn't me, because if it wasn't for my assistant principal at the time and a couple other coaches in the school, I would have never even known playing outside basketball was a thing. But shout out them. His name was Coach Fenellas, and he was the principal too. But he like after the season, he like recommended like a couple like club teams to me and a couple like travel teams to me, and I didn't really know the idea of like playing AAU basketball. That's what it's called, but I didn't really know like what it meant to play outside besides school. But he seen like a lot of potential in me. He was like, "Oh, I think you should go here, go to these tryouts." Just recommended me a lot of teams, and then the team that we set, Eastside Escalades, that just happened to be the team that took me in with the program, and it just went from there. And then been with the program for like 4 years, and then yeah, that's like family.
So how was your overall experience with them?
It was pretty cool. In the beginning, it's like I clicked immediately. Made a couple friends, still talk to them to this day. Bonded with a couple people, met a lot of cool coaches. The practices were cool. Went to a lot of basketball tournaments. We traveled a lot in the city, and like in the summer we would like annually, it's an annual thing. In the summer we would go up to Boston and then play like in the Zero Gravity Nationals, and then we did pretty good each time we went. When was this? I think it was, I want to say, 6th grade going into 7th. I think we won. Yeah, that was that year. We won like the actual whole thing, and then took a picture with the trophy. The trophy was like mad tall. The trophy was taller than me. I was like maybe like 5'4" at the time, 5'5" at the time, and the trophy had to be like at least like 5'10". Wow. But yeah, a lot of core memories made, and that's just one of them that I, take a lot of pride in, because, we did that.
So would you say that kept you motivated to keep playing with them?
Oh yeah, for sure. Playing basketball and just doing things like outside of school really like made me want to pursue it even more, and that's like why I said like in 5th grade I started to take it more serious, because like I didn't know like what it could be or like how I could feel about the sport until I actually started playing basketball. So getting comfortable playing outside and just getting used to just playing outside with other basketball teams, that just really like made me feel like I'm in love with the sport. So like if that would have never happened, we probably wouldn't even be here right now, not gonna lie.
So how did you carry that into your school season, like the outside basketball to middle school?
Well, it was definitely tough to manage, because in the beginning, I don't know like if but like in middle school, like if you have an AAU season, I mean if you have a school season, you still have an AAU season, but in high school you don't. So in middle school, I was still playing school basketball, and I was still playing high school basketball at the same time. So it would be weekends where like I would have to like choose which game I gotta go to. Like, do I want to go to my? And I used to have these debates with my mom all the time. Like, do I want to go to my school game? Do I want to go to my basketball? Do I want to go to my AAU game? But AAU always said like go to your school game first. But like, I don't want to miss out on traveling. Like it was that like really stuck with me. So I definitely like faced a lot of challenges like deciding which one I wanted to go to. But as I got older and my focus relied mainly on high school basketball when I went during high school season. Like the lessons I learned from AAU, I applied to I applied to high school season, and the overall like experience of just playing basketball, just felt the same to me from playing outside. And I mean, not really, but just playing basketball was just fun. Yeah. So I was just always looking forward to playing basketball like wherever I was. So that was like the main thing I like really cared about.
Okay. Did you see a difference within your game, whether you would play in school and in AAU?
Yeah. So for like most teams, or like for most of my AAU and high school, I mean AAU to middle school teams and from AAU to high school teams, there was like definitely like a difference in like the role or like how much I was playing,
Oh,
because I would be on like a couple middle school teams where like I mean I was playing, but I just like for example like I would start on my AAU team in middle school, but for my for my middle school team I would come off the bench like be a six man, but so definitely like the role and like the amount of like playtime I got. Yeah, that's probably like the main thing. I was still having fun. I wasn't
yeah.
really. I was still a kid, so I wasn't really not worried about what's bothering me. And whenever I was on the court, I was just happy. So I don't really like. I can't really think of a big difference besides like having an obvious different role, like regardless of where you go or wherever I go. Sorry, yeah.
So was there ever a time like you would have a game like AAU, then you come back to your school team, and like you could just see how different the competition is?
Definitely. Definitely. AAU, like it's more. Well, school basketball is more structured because you play against kids that take the same education as you. So it's like, I mean, that doesn't really have nothing to do with like being on a court, but like it's like it just feels more structured because it's like we go to the same school as these kids. We're in the same league as these kids. But versus AAU, it's like I'm from the Bronx. I could be playing against a kid that's from Idaho, or like I could be playing against a kid that's from a whole different place than I am. Versus school ball, it's usually people from my area. So, it was definitely more diverse, and just I was just exposed to more competition, and that's why people usually say, or people usually like get more exposure from like these AAU like games and tournaments, because that's what it is. Like you just more diverse people that you meet during AAU season. So definitely it's like you're exposed to like a whole different niche of like competition when you play outside of basketball.
So if you could remember like maybe a team from like out of state, like Idaho or like Florida, do you remember how different their play style was compared to you and your teams?
Um, Damn, that's a good question. Damn, you got me. Damn, I gotta think.
Or even
Um,
like the players, like their size, like yeah.
that's a good question. I got now. I gotta do some
Yeah.
flashbacks now.
Like was their smallest guard like your big, the size of your big? Like how different was
Oh,
it?
okay. So like so right, boom. So for school teams, right, a center could be classified as a guard, or a guard. No, no, no. Sorry, a guard could be classified as a center. So, right, let's say, right, I'm playing. I'm like 5'10", but at the time I was like 5'4"ish, 5'5"ish.
Oh,
So
my height.
yeah, basically, her height. So I was like 5'5" at the time. So let's say I'm playing with somebody that's like 6'2", right? He's a center, and mind you, we like, how old are you in sixth grade? Like 11.
Yeah.
So we like 11 years
No, I
old.
think it's like 12,
11, yeah, 11, 12. So,
13.
he's considered a center. So, but, in the collegiate level or even high school level, that's a guard. So, versus when we played AAU, I would like, in sixth grade, I would be like, he's kind of tall. Like, why is he like dribbling the basketball like he's a guard?
Nah,
But
yeah.
like, that just goes to show, like, it's really levels to it, because, it's people that are like 6'3", 6'4", who were like in sixth grade playing center, but they're really a guard. So, I didn't really like realize that at the time, but as I grew up, I like realized like that's a guard. That's a yeah, that's a guard height basically. So
Yeah, like they're gonna
yeah, I thought
grow
about
into
that.
their positions later on in life.
Right, for sure.
Did you have anybody like that on your team?
Um, like that was like playing center, but was a guard.
Yeah, or like just playing for their future position.
Yeah, I went to school with whatchamacallit? His name is Brandon Stores. He goes to Georgia Tech. He was like playing center. He was like 6'2", I think, maybe 6'1", probably a little taller, but in between one of those. But he was like playing a center position in middle school, and you know, you fast forward to now, he's a guard in college. So
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't know. That's just something I never realized, but you know, as you get older, you realize like it's really levels to it, like I said.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but yeah, shout out Brandon, keep doing your thing.
That was nice.
For sure.
So how did you take all that to your 7th grade season?
How did I go from 6th grade to 7th grade?
Yeah, with like all the exposure from AAU.
So from AAU, all right, so I want to say from 6th to 7th grade, the number one thing that I did the most, or like that I improved on, was playing more summer basketball. Like from 6th to 7th grade, I think that was like the most summer basketball I ever played. So, you know, I increased like my summer basketball experience by playing more in the summer.
And
And-
like tournaments, right?
Yeah, like Watson. That was like the main one I played in as a kid. I played in a couple tournaments in the Lower East Side.
LES?
Yeah, it was like
Basketball City?
in like some, no, that was during AAU, but
Oh.
it was like some outside thing. Yeah, but I mainly played in like a lot of summer league.
Wait, real quick, what's your favorite New York City tournament? I bet we don't have the same one.
What does yours start with?
Okay.
Don't tell me you're talking about Kingdom.
It is.
Oh my God.
It is. Kingdom is
I mean,
lit
Kingdom
every
is
summer.
cool, I guess.
How many times you been there?
Like twice.
See, that's why. You gotta go there more often.
It's cool. I'm gonna go this summer. I'm gonna see.
There this summer, exactly,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go this summer. But favorite basketball summer tournament. Probably Hoops in the Sun.
Really? I like Hoops in the Sun, but it's too hot
It's
over
too hot.
there.
I know, but the scenery. It probably has the
Nah,
best scenery
yeah.
by far.
It is.
So, you know, just to play by the beach, like
That is fire.
imagine you shoot the ball, it go out of bounds into the beach. Like, where can that happen at? Nowhere else but the beach. So, you know, it probably has the best scenery. But
Nah, it
you know, you
does.
definitely got to bring about like 5 Gatorades though for one game. But you'll be fine.
One time I was playing in there and I fell, and I still have the burn on my knee to this day. This happened like 5 years ago.
God,
Yes. I like slid. I can't even see the court. I stood on the ground.
in the sun too.
Yes. It was like pink. Yeah, I still have that burn to this day.
I think I have one too. It's one of these days, but
You fell in there?
no, it was like in the gym. And then
Hoops in the Sun gym?
no, I'm just saying like I fell in the gym and I like
I'm
burnt myself.
talking about Hoops in
I
the
know what
Sun.
you're talking about, but I'm just saying I could like probably have the same like
Oh.
burn mark as you.
Yeah. Now Hoops in the Sun is valid.
Yeah, it's a lot of
So-
cool tournaments.
Yeah. The Bronx is valid with all these tournaments. Like Degman. No, I'm tripping. Watson, Hoops in the Sun, Granada. They got a few of them. But Manhattan got it with Kingdom. Well, Harlem got it with Kingdom and Degman.
What about Queens?
The only thing I played
Lincoln?
in Queens, I've never been to Lincoln. It's too far.
Nah, it is. It's like in the back. It's closer to Brooklyn than like. It might be
I
closer
can't
to
even
Long
tell.
Island too.
I'm gonna say Long Island.
Yeah, it's like all the way in the back.
But a good one in Queens, I can't even think. I
Me
played
neither.
in Queens for sure. And Roddy Rebel was there. He came to one of the tournaments. I swear to God, I took a picture of him.
Where? What tournament?
I forget. But this was like I was in high
Oh,
school
wait.
like 5 years ago.
The court I think you're talking about, I think it's in Brooklyn.
I have no idea.
Gersh?
Oh no, I
Oh.
know Gersh for a fact.
I thought you were talking about Gersh for a second.
No, I forget.
Yeah, so, you know, playing summer basketball, that really helped me, you know, gain a more competitive edge, like, with playing against people. Because, you know, I'm playing New York street basketball. Like, it don't get no grittier than that. So, you know, that, like, helped me be more aggressive and more ready for the end season. Even though it's 2 different styles of play, but, you know, just to have that aggressive demeanor and just to know what it feels like to actually play New York City basketball. That's like the like main thing that I like, got under my belt. So, yeah.
I agree with you. When I used to be a school player up until high school. Then like maybe like around COVID, that's when I first started playing outside. That was my first time actually playing in
You
Watson.
started late. You a late bloomer.
I know. But I started playing in Watson, and then I seen like the drastic difference. Like it's a whole
It
basketball
is.
world out there.
I know. It is like you playing on concrete. Like you play. It don't get no like I said, grittier than that. Ish.
And then I'm in high school, like trying to play outside, so they putting me in the women's tournaments, and I was already like getting the belt bad. So I already know.
Yeah. But New York is the best place in the world. So you come out of New York, you automatically a winner.
Especially for basketball.
I was coming from Bronx 1. So remember how I said I came from Bronx 1.
Yeah.
So we had to go to Harlem East. It was in Harlem. And then we had to transfer over because they said the school had no more space. And then we had to merge like basketball teams and just merge
Anything.
yeah, literally people, everything with Harlem East. So we moved over to their building, and even I'm still doing my thing during New York basketball or like the summer. I'm still doing what I gotta do. I was still like uncertain about like how the next chapter would be because, like I said, we transferred over, and I don't know nobody. I mean, I knew one person because I played against him in the summer tournament. It just happened. It was just so random. His name is Andrew Parrish. He go to what school is that? It's like the one with like the Viking, I think. It's upstate. I could be wrong.
A SUNY school?
It's a SUNY school, yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but he goes to a SUNY school. Shout out Andrew. Played against him in the summer, and then he was like the only person I knew like going into the season. And then it was just a lot of uncertainty because I didn't know like what it was gonna be like, who the coach was. I didn't even know what the basketball court looked like, So it was just a lot of uncertainty. But when I got there, everything was eventually, figured out from like, because there wasn't even a lot of people on my basketball team from Bronx when I went over to Harlem East. It was only like 3 of us that ended up being on the team.
Oh wow, 3
So,
transfers.
Yeah, when we got the team, when we got there, we spoke to the coaches, spoke to the people that were there, and then put us on the team, and then we bonded from there, and then it was a good season. I'm not gonna lie, we put BTA like the whole middle school was scared of us, like the whole middle school association was scared to play us. I think we were undefeated that year. I could be wrong. If not, we lost 1 game, but I'm pretty sure we were undefeated. And then we won the chip in 7th grade, and then COVID happened, but we would have repeated in 8th grade.
Oh, so it was like a guarantee back to back.
Guaranteed, we were pretty much undefeated again. Like, I don't even mean to like, turn my pipe or, boost our egos, but like we were so good. We had like JV high school teams upstate like wanting to schedule us and like to scrimmage us.
What?
So
That'll make.
but it was just it was a scrimmage. So
Oh, okay.
it wasn't a like actual game. It was just like exhibition game.
Okay.
So we had like
And how was that game?
it was like 6 quarters. I don't know who won, but we was out there having fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we was out there
That's
having
what
fun.
that matters.
But we didn't do too bad. If anything, we probably won 2 quarters at least. Yeah, we probably won 2 quarters. If
Out
you went
of
to middle
6?
school with me and you was on the basketball team, you could vouch. But we held our own. We were 7th and 8th graders. This is in 8th grade, but 7th and 8th graders, and we were playing against kids that's older than us, bigger than us.
They're probably older than you, like 1 or 2 years. It's not that bad.
High school and middle school are 2 different things, though, right?
They just got into high school.
Still, but they could be practicing. Look, they're going to school with varsity players, so they could be playing against them, practicing against them. So they have like a,
But you got New York City basketball.
True. You're right. You're 100% right about that. But still, 100% right. But they're literally going to school with 12th graders. So
You don't think you wasn't playing against no ringing
all the
guys.
time. Oh my god. Yo, don't even get me started with the ringers. Jeez. And then like, you know, like the worst part about a ringer is like when you know them too.
Yeah.
Like, I know you. You're not. What do you mean you're playing 12U? You're like 15. Get out. That's the worst part. But yeah, it was a lot of ringers um, from like 6 to. The ringing kind of calmed down like when I got to like 11th grade, but it was a lot of ringing and a lot of, you know, people doing fraudulent things when it came to playing basketball for a certain age category. But it happens. It's
real.
life.
Nah, yeah. So back to that 8th grade year before COVID, you know, almost crush your back-to-back champ, right?
Yes. So, like I said, we would have went back to back. If you were on the what year was that? That was 2019 or 2020 because that was 8th grade. So yeah, if you were on the 2019 to 2020 Success Academy Harlem East basketball team, you could vouch. We would have went back to back. Even the girls, like we would not root. Sorry, we was really like UConn. Like the girls was in the Final Four and the boys was in the Final Four. The girls won, we won. We was dead like UConn. So, you know, it was just to be part of that and just to, you know, that's like the most winningest thing I ever felt when it came to playing basketball. Just to be a part of a winning culture. Like we was really, I don't think I ever lost like a league game. I can't think of a game we lost like from 7th to 8th grade. So, you know, it just felt good. And unfortunately, COVID happened, and we would have went back to back, and everybody would have known. Everybody knows that. So,
Well, not everybody. I didn't know.
well, now you know. Now you know.
So at this point, were you looking at schools to continue your legendary basketball?
Yeah. So you know, when COVID happened, we all thought it was only gonna last like 3, maybe a month, 3 weeks to a month. So, you know, I thought like I was gonna be right back to playing AAU, spring ball, not college. What am I talking about? Summer ball, like that. But you know, COVID happened and it was indefinite. So you know, it just continued and just prolonged until, you know, protocols felt like they needed to be lessened. But it was like, you know, it was confusing. It was really a confusing time for not just me, but for everybody. Like not knowing like what the next move was, especially for the 2020 graduates, because it's like you're graduating. We didn't even have a graduation. That's not. I didn't even have a like I really had my graduation over Zoom, and then they mailed me my diploma.
But you're an 8th grader saying this.
I mean,
You acting like you in high school or in college. You're an 8th grader saying
but like still, that's your graduation though. Like my mom, my grandmother, my sister, my dad, they want to take pictures of me, and then they gotta sit there and watch me graduate over a laptop.
Nah, that's
Exactly.
true.
I didn't even have a prom, nothing, and I still never even been to prom to this day.
Wow. No 8th grade prom, no high school
I
prom?
didn't go to my high school prom.
Okay, we'll say that for
Yeah,
later.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
No, that's just mad funny. I never heard a 8th grader. Well, someone complain about not having a graduation as an 8th grader.
Yeah, and then especially like after what the basketball team was doing for the school, I feel like at least the basketball team had to have a graduation. Like we was really putting on. Like everybody in the city that new Success Academy, because you say you don't know, but that new Success Academy knew that we had the best basketball team in the last 2 years. So the fact of us to not like, you know, walk the stage kind of felt bad. Now that I think about it.
Who are y'all though?
The Belt Boys.
Nah. So only y'all need to have a graduation because y'all was putting
At
on for the
least.
basketball?
At least.
Nah.
At least.
No, that's
Man,
funny.
shout out Coach Gennaro. He was a soccer coach and the basketball coach. Who you know doing that? Soccer and basketball?
Was the soccer team doing their thing? Or was y'all
I'm
the
pretty
only
sure
team?
they were.
Y'all was the only
the whole
team?
school was good. Like we had one of the best sports.
So shouldn't the whole school have a graduation?
No, just the basketball.
Oh.
But shout out Coach Gennaro. Shout out I forgot his name. Oh, Coach Davis. Coach Davis. Shout out Coach Davis. Shout out Brandon, like I said. Shout out Andrew. Shout out Nate. Shout out Armani. Shout out just shout out the whole team. Shout out the whole team. I'm not really good with names, but if you was there and you see this, shout out you. But going back to what you said about transitioning to high school and
Yes.
going to basketball. Like yeah, I was just really uncertain, but like I said earlier, shout out Coach Davis. He was the one who was still like keeping in contact with me and still would like try to guide me to which decision would be best for me. So,
That's
you know,
good.
in the beginning of 8th grade, that's when I like started to look at high school. Not started, but that's when I got serious about going to like these basketball high schools. So I was like really interested in Cardinal Spellman, and then I went to their open houses, spoke to the coaches, toured the school.
School far.
Yeah, even had like a day where like I don't
A
know.
shadow?
Yeah, yeah.
Shadow
See,
day?
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like a shadow day. So, it was just, I was just being assimilated to what it meant to be a Cardinal Spellman
Imagine
student.
Mel shadowing you at a school. Who did you shadow?
I don't know. It was a girl.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know her name. She was a random. No disrespect, but she was a random. I don't know her, but yeah, it was just I was really committed, I guess, to going in. And then when COVID happened, that's when like I don't know, but my like commitment just and my like drive to want to go there just went out the window. So that's like that was like one of the darkest times I was at during middle school, I guess, because like I just didn't know my next move, and
Oh, okay.
that's when I guess this is like when you start to grow out your childhood too, because now this is when like life gets serious because you're
Yeah.
going into high school, and the stories I would hear about high school too, it's just like
All high schools in general?
yeah, just like going to high school is nothing serious, but high school was a breeze. But
Yeah.
being in middle school, hearing that high school was like nothing serious, nothing to play around with. If you mess these
Scary.
4 years up, you can mess up the whole rest of your life. Just it made me like a little anxious. So to not know what high school I was gonna be going to, really like f me up in my mental, f me up a little bit in my mental. But ultimately, I still had like the courage and the will to fight and find other possibilities. So that's when a couple like friends and coaches and referees that knew me, they like were curious of like what I was doing or like what I was gonna be doing for high school. And then I told them I was gonna like be going to Spelman, but I'm not going no more because like COVID. And then I don't want to just take a chance, like like what if we don't even play basketball no more? So that's when they referred me to the high school I graduated from, Wings Academy, and then yeah, the rest is history.
Okay.
Was that good?
That was great.
All right.
I was gonna ask you, how did your shadowing go?
The shadowing was good.
Were you traumatized? Was it fun?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why, but I was hungry the whole time. Like I wasn't even anxious, I wasn't nervous, I was just hungry. And I ate before that, but I was just, shadowing the student. She was just showing me around what it was like to be a Cardinal Spellman student. She even gave me like a decoy ID. So I had to swipe in like, yeah, like I was an actual student. Showed me the auditorium, showed me, the shortcuts to classes. Like she was, she was tapping me in. She was really like getting me right, like I was an actual Spellman student. So
Did you see the gym?
yeah, I saw the gym. They have like 2 gyms, I think. Like I haven't been in a while, but they have multiple gyms, I think. But yeah, and then what I felt the most was when I walked into the gym, and then not even just for basketball, but I seen like all like the collegiate athletes they had. Like they had at least like 80. Like if that's track, swimming, basketball, football, any sport you could think of, they had like at least like 80 jerseys in the gym, and I was like, bro, like let's say I don't even play basketball. Like the fact that they have like a prestigious program and just putting people at Division I schools for athletics, academics, that's like what really stick to me, because like everybody's not going to the NBA, but like I said, let's say I do track, let's say I even do swimming. The fact that they still have those people that went to those prestigious schools is just something that stuck with me. So
that's tough, yeah. That's good. So people was in your ear telling you about Wings?
So I had a couple friends and family members. Like I said, they were asking me about like what high school do you want to go to, and I was telling them, like Spelman is the that was the goal, but it doesn't look like it's happening no more. So that's when people was like, oh, you should go to Wings. Wings has one of the best basketball programs in Wait, why you laugh?
Nothing.
Mind you, we're still like in the 2010s, so yeah. They said Wings has like one of the best basketball programs And, I looked into it, and then they had like 1 year where they were like, it wasn't called the Chipotle Nationals, but they were in like national, talks. They were even ranked nationally at one point. I think they were like top 20. This had to be like when Jesse
In the
was
country?
there. Yeah, they were ranked nationally. And then that year, their best player went to Georgetown.
I don't remember that at all.
His name is Jesse Govan. What year was this? It had to be like 2012. Maybe, no, that's too early. I think like
Yeah.
2014, maybe 2015.
I wasn't even in the basketball world at that time, so I
Yeah,
really wouldn't know.
but they had like a nationally ranked team. Like, if I'm not mistaken, at one point they were like 15 in the country, and then the best player went to Georgetown, and then one of their players that played there is in the NBA. He didn't stay there, but he went through wings, and then I think he's in the NBA, maybe two. But yeah, so doing my research, I seen that it looked pretty legit to me. So, I went there. I went to like Google, looked at the school, and seen that at one point in time, like I just said, they were like this highly ranked school. And in my head, I'm like, if I go here and do what I gotta do, because my mom always told me, if you're good, it don't matter where you go, you're still gonna get some attention. So I'm like, if I go here, I could like do what these guys did, and then that's like was my main thought process behind it. Yeah, but that was early 2010s, like I said. It's a different time.
Very different.
Really different. 10 years later, pretty much. Yeah,
I think it's like 14 years later or 12 years later.
you get the point.
So how did you fully decide that you wanted to go to Wings?
I'm not gonna say I was forced, but like I kind of just went with the flow. It's like everybody was around me, wings. I'm like, you would have think I'm eating chicken. The amount of times like it's just wings. Like, it's chicken? Like, but yeah, like everybody just kept saying wings, and then I was like, that's pretty much like all I could go right now, because the school I wanted to go to, it's not even in the picture no more. Things happen, life happens. And I was like, I'll give it a try. And then if I don't like it, I could just leave, It's still early. And then eventually I just went. And then our first day of school was remote.
First day of high school.
First day of class was remote. Put on my uniform shirt and everything, turned on my camera, I was ready.
I like that.
Exactly. I was
Student
ready.
athlete, right? Yeah.
Books come first. Stay in school, kids.
How long were you remote for?
So I was doing blended my first year and second year, but mainly blended.
Hybrid?
Yeah, hybrid, same, yeah. So from like November to like December, I was doing hybrid. And then somebody in the school caught COVID.
Oh.
And then they just shut down the school for the rest of the year, which was like odd to me. Like you could just tell them to quarantine and just open the school. And then, yeah, so I really didn't have a freshman year of high school. I only had 3 years of high school, really. But yeah, ninth grade was cool. It was fast, but it was cool. We didn't do nothing for real.
No hooping?
Yeah, I was still working out. I was still playing AAU, because like AAU would have like different protocols where you could play, but you got to play with a mask.
Yeah.
So I was like still playing.
Tragic.
I was still playing. I could not breathe under the. Oh my God. I really got a tech one time because I was like playing, and then the ref, like, I took my mask down. He was like, you got to pull your mask up, sir. And I pulled it up. Pulled it down again. He said, if I have to tell you one more time, I'm going to tech you.
Ooh.
I'm like, you're going to give me a tech for a face mask? And then I act like I ripped it, but he like seen me. So I tried to play it off. I did not play it off. And then he seen me, and then he said,
Ooh.
and then I got a tech for, I don't even know what to call it, face mask? Football? But yeah.
Wait, what was your number?
2. 2 always been my number. That's my, something about 2. Like 2 is better than 1. So yeah. 2 just always been my favorite number. Like I just love 2. It's 2.
What's so special about it though?
I don't know. Like it's just, like I said, 2 is better than 1. So who wouldn't want 2 of the same things, I guess? And I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was younger, I really like used to be a big Kyrie fan.
Okay. Now
But
it's
like
making
it's not
sense.
mainly because of Kyrie. Like I always liked to, but Kyrie enhanced it. If it makes sense.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you know. And then when he hit that shot, you know what
What
shot?
shot?
You know what shot I'm talking about. You know what shot I'm talking about.
I don't.
Come on, you know. Look, I'm not even gonna say nothing. Y'all know what shot I'm talking about. You know what shot I'm talking about.
I don't.
Game
you're-
7.
See, I wasn't in the basketball world. I don't know.
But like, I'm sure you've seen it 1,000 times.
Maybe on TikTok or
You've seen
something.
it. When he hit the
was
shot
he
over
in
Curry?
Boston?
No, he's in Golden State. You've seen the shot before. You want me to show you?
Yeah.
Bro, you've seen the shot before, bro.
No, I haven't.
I promise you. I could bet $1 million you've seen
I
the
don't
shot
even
before.
remember when Kyrie was on the Golden State Warriors.
No, he wasn't on the Warriors, but he hit it over the Warriors.
What team
hit
was
it
he
over Curry.
on?
He was on the Cavs.
Oh,
This is when he won the chip.
with LeBron?
Yes.
Okay, I know a little something. Why did you pull it up mad fast?
You've seen this shot before. Bang! You've seen this shot before. Stop trying to act like
Maybe. I don't memorize it. That's valid though. Did that tie the game or did they win?
this shot. I mean, y'all know, but he pretty much won the game, but it gave them more leverage. But that pretty much won him the game in hindsight. But that he kind of like enhanced me, like to liking number 2. But 2 always has been my favorite number. Like I really can't even give you a reason. It's just 2.
So what if the coach is giving out jerseys and 2 is not
I'll
there?
pick the closest number to 2.
What if 1 to 3 isn't there?
I'm not picking 22 because I don't like numbers in the 20s. I'll probably go 11. 11. Yeah.
What if 11 isn't there?
8.
Nah, that doesn't make sense. For
How
2.
does that make sense?
The way I look at it, my favorite number is 5. So it's like if I can't be 5,
You gonna be 55?
I'll be nothing.
So you're
I'll
not gonna
be
play?
nothing. I'll be 0.
Okay. You can't be 0 in AAU. They don't allow numbers under.
0.
That's double 0?
Either or.
No, I don't think they allow no zeros.
I'm not talking about AA. I'm talking about high school.
Or high school.
School. I'm 0.
I really don't think they allow like 0 in high school or AAU. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they allow it. Cause like I'm pretty sure like every time I was on a team, somebody wanted 0 and it was like there's no 0.
Oh, maybe that school just didn't have it.
But yeah, so with the face mask,
Yeah. Tech for
with the
face
face mask, I got a
mask.
tech for that. So, playing during COVID was really, that was a strong time because, that really revealed who wanted to play basketball and who didn't. And then the fact that I was still playing basketball during COVID and even after COVID, a lot of people stopped playing basketball after that. And, survival of the fittest. So shout out to me.
No, for real. For real. So what kept you motivated to keep going? Because COVID was no joke. A lot of teams didn't even have no seasons.
What I felt like kept me going was just my neighborhood and just what's around me. Like I wanted to be better than what's around me. Like it's just a lot of people like doing nothing with their life and just people just there. So I wanted to have a purpose and I wanted to be, the person who beats the statistics, I guess, and just becomes bigger than where they come from. So playing basketball was just like my safe haven and just my peace and just how I coped with, trying to do better things in life.
I respect that.
Preach.
And I feel like a lot of kids experience the same thing, especially in New York in
Facts.
Black communities. And this never been talked about on Baller Story, but that's like actually like true. Like
Because a lot of times kids, I'm sure you had plenty of kids who, the only thing they have is just a basketball or like football, softball, whatever it is. But most of the time, that's like all they have and like that's their only hope. So, it's like they gotta just do it to stay off the streets.
Yeah.
Half the time, so.
And the other day I was thinking about it, like in New York City, there's a lot of basketball for like in Black communities. And a lot of Black kids, Hispanic kids grow up on playing basketball, like maybe football. But you don't ever see them really playing like maybe golf or tennis. because we don't really have
I never
access
see
to that.
somebody come out of New York that says I play golf.
Yeah,
Never.
yeah. But that's not really in our communities.
It's
So,
not.
Yeah.
Probably go to Long Island, but
Upstate.
nowhere in the city have I ever came across somebody that's willingly told me I play golf.
Yeah. So basketball is like super popular in our community.
Exactly. That's why it's really competitive. I mean, basketball's competitive anywhere you go, but New York City competition.
It's
like,
basketball or you die.
Yeah, I might say DMV has like better players, down south has better players, but I promise you, it's nowhere competitive as New York. Like the competition in New York is the strongest anywhere in America. I mean, anywhere in the country. No, sorry, anywhere in the world. We're gonna say universe, anywhere in the universe. So, like just, that's why, sorry.
You good.
Jason, I'm gonna call you back. So yeah, that's what I was saying. Like just being from New York and just inhabiting the competitive nature, it's just gonna teach you how to hustle and just survive. And then when New Yorkers go anywhere, that's why they thrive, because it's just New York is like a proving ground. Like you gotta prove you worthy enough to make it out, and if you make it out, you're gonna be good. New York breed winners.
We ball for a different reason.
Yep, on and off the court.
Yeah, for real. So were you playing summer ball going into your 10th grade year?
Yes, I was. I was mainly playing still AAU, but if I can remember, I'm sure there were times where like I was working out with Wings, and they would have like these like sessions where you could like, I guess, like train and work out. But it was mainly AAU because I still wasn't established at Wings. I was still getting my feet wet, and I was still, being introduced to high school. But I was really still comfortable with my high school AAU team at the time, Eastside Escalades, and then we were still like playing tournaments, a lot of summer tournaments. We would still travel. We went to Boston that summer. Yeah, so we would still do a lot, but it was mainly AAU still. And during my high school years, during the early stages of my high school years, it was mainly AAU still, yeah.
Okay. So your season started, or you still had no season?
I wouldn't say the season didn't start until 10th grade, yeah.
Yeah.
10th grade is when like my first season started.
So how was that? Like you finally have a season, been putting in all this work, AAU, working out. You about to have the actual high school experience you should have had when you were a freshman.
Right. 7th grade was probably the best like year of my 4 years in high school.
Well, 3. Let me stop.
You said what?
I said not 3, but let me stop.
Oh. Yeah, 10th grade is probably the best like years of my high school because like, well, to start, none of us were like really comfortable like with each other, like in terms of like basketball, like when tryouts came, when, teaming came, when, just trying to find a team for JV, because mind you, like the coach doesn't know nobody. It's a bunch of COVID kids. Not to say it like that, but, a bunch of kids that like graduated during COVID. So none of us were returning students from the year prior because we weren't in high school. It was no year, and it was no basketball or nothing. So, it was like an unfamiliar situation with a lot of people. But me, like, I used that as a time and like as an opportunity to like, assert myself from the rest. So, I would like put myself in situations where like, somebody got to be the one to make the decision. So that's kind of like, that's all like what I always been doing like with life. But, here with Wings in like the 10th grade year of my JV year, like that's kind of like how I like, carved my role basically. And then, yeah, like when people would see like, okay, he's comfortable with, or like I'm doing this, so, let me get on track with he's doing, it would just be like a trickle down effect basically. So, it's just me making it easier for the people around me.
So you would say you were a leader?
Basically, yeah.
Captain. The go-to guy.
You said it, not me. Nah, yeah, that's what it was.
Okay, that's dope. Especially like This is the first time you have a team and it's going good, as you said, and you're
Yeah.
being the go-to guy. That's tough. Yeah.
And it felt good because I'm at a school because remember I told you in middle school like I wasn't the guy, but
Yeah.
I wasn't trash, but I just wasn't starting to sort of come to a school where I could be like possibly potentially seen as the guy like in 10th grade early on. It just gave me a lot of confidence and it just helped me, you know, see like potential in myself basically.
Okay. So, like you just said, really wasn't that guy back in middle school, but now in high school you are. What do you think most about your game changed for you to get to there?
I'm not gonna lie. That's something like I was thinking about the other day too. Like I really can't even think about that. I think it just it was more of a mental thing. Like just me becoming more confident. Like I don't think nothing skill wise changed. Like I was still able to shoot, I was still able to dribble, I was still able to like pass, play, make whatever. I think it was just more of a mental thing. Like because as you get older, your mental state grows.
Yeah.
So I think it's just inhabiting certain stuff as I grew older and just realizing that like I'm from New York City, so I gotta carry myself a certain way, and that's like really kind of what helped me in like the beginning stages. It's just realizing that my mental is growing, so I need to grow with it.
Okay. So, real quick, would you say you became a student of the game during your freshman year in COVID? Like, were you learning and grasping more about basketball?
Yeah, for sure.
So, do you think that
For sure.
helped that?
I think that helped too because during freshman year and even some parts of 8th grade, COVID was happening, so there was nobody playing basketball. So I would use those times to like watch film, study more about players that I like, and just overall just get more closer to basketball because we couldn't physically play it. So the most I could do is just get closer to it by watching it and just talking about it with friends and family. So I feel like that really helped too. Yeah, COVID did a lot. It was a lot of negatives, but did a lot of positives too.
Okay, so how did the rest of your 10th grade season go? JV?
Yeah, 10th grade. So in chronological order, right? So like I said, with the whole formation of the 10th grade year, in the beginning it was good. We was coming together as a team. We were, building chemistry, continuity with each other, and just building a stronger bond with each other. And we had like practices in preseason games like in the beginning, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But my mom, for Halloween, because that's like when preseason was, she wanted to go to Disney World or Disneyland. What's the one in Orlando? Disney World, Disneyland?
Disney World.
That's this. No, I think Disney World is in.
No.
I don't know.
LA land. LA is in LA.
Oh.
World.
Yeah. Cause okay, I see what they did. I see what they did. Okay. But yeah, she wanted to go to Disney World in like October. So, I thought that like that would throw off like the homeostasis of like the team and it would just like mess up.
Homeostasis?
Homeostasis, like.
Oh, big
What?
words. Okay.
I told you books first.
Right.
I told you books first. But I just thought like that would just mess up and just kill the vibe of everything because like it was like our first couple games and like you got to start off strong. You don't really have to start off strong. It's about how you finish. But like
Yeah, like you want to start off on the right foot.
especially with people you never played with.
Yeah.
So I thought like that would like possibly mess up my role.
And like your first impression on them too.
Exactly. So I miss like the first couple practices, scrimmages, whatever. But I came back and then it was just like right back on the track.
You never left.
Yeah, we started off strong. We in like our first like 10 games, I think we were like 8-2, something like that. We lost. I know one game we lost to South Shore, and then
Y'all lost at their school, or home?
it was at Canarsie. It was a non-league game.
Okay.
Yeah, we lost there. I think that was on my birthday too. It was either my birthday or the day before my birthday. One
When's
of
your
them.
birthday?
29th of November.
Oh, okay.
Why you say oh okay like that?
Because you said it the other way, but it's fine.
The 29th of November.
Could have just said November 29th.
29th.
Yeah. But
Sorry.
it's cool. It was cool. 2006?
5.
Damn.
Why you say damn like my uncle?
Chill.
Why you say damn like I'm an unk?
2005 is young.
Oh, I'm not young.
Okay.
I mean, I am, but I'm not young.
Okay. It's all good. It's all good. You don't gotta prove it to me.
Sorry.
You good. But you almost lost. You lost on your birthday.
It was one of those days, but we lost that game. And then we
Damn.
lost another game. I don't remember who, but we lost a silly game. But, you know, it's part of what makes great teams good. I mean, good teams great. You gotta have a couple hiccups on the road. So that was like a hiccup that we had. And then from there, we just figured it out. We still had a couple losses on the way towards like playoffs and stuff. But,
Okay.
you know, we were overall a good team. You know, we took care of business. We had good practices. You know, we bonded with each other outside of the school, and you know, it just felt like a basketball team in 10th grade year. So then playoffs come around, and that's when we were like seeded, I think 15. So this is like when
15th in the whole PSA.
in the whole PSAL out of 34 teams, because we had like a couple silly
In
losses.
what division?
Double A.
Okay, bad.
Yeah, that's like the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so because we had a couple silly losses, but we were still a good team. But if we had 30 games, we probably went like 20 and like 10, something like that. But we had good wins, and we just had a couple silly losses. That's why we were 15. But you know, a lot of people thought like we wouldn't do anything because like we were 15, and like it's pretty unlikely to beat the top teams, because if we won our first game, that means we would have to play the 2 seed, and foreshadowing, we beat the 2 seed. But our first game we played Far Rockaway.
Far Rockaway.
hmm And then it was a home game, and we won. Pretty good game. You know, everybody came to play. Then this is when people thought we were gonna go home. We played Jefferson, and I think they were like considered the team to win it at the time.
So they were like number 1.
No, they were number 2, but they thought that they were better than the 1 seed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so a lot of people thought like we was gonna get packed out the gym, and it was a lot. It was a lot. That might have been the most like people I ever played in front of. It
You
was
went
a
to Jefferson and
lot,
played?
Yes.
Oh.
We took the train, no buses. We trooped it to Jeff. We didn't take no buses. We took the what's that? The 1 train? Yeah, we took the 1 train. We took the 2 to somewhere, and then we transferred to the 3 train. Sorry, it was the 3 train.
Nah.
Took the 3 train, and then we got.
In a bus?
No.
Oh.
Because the train station is right there, like
Okay, bad.
literally across the street from my school. So we got there, we took the 3 train. We took the 2 train to the 3 train, got right off from Pennsylvania, walked it down, but we was all locked in. Like the whole team was listening to music.
Wait, y'all all had gear, like travel?
We had our sweatsuits on.
Oh.
We was all locked in.
I could imagine.
I have these are when the Carmines came back out too. So I had my Jordan sweatsuit on, wore my Carmines for the first time. I was like, nah, we gotta win this game. Like, I got my Carmines on, I got my Wings sweatsuit. Like, we gotta go out with a bang. We gotta have a bang out. But yeah. So we walked into the gym. Everybody's locked in. You know, a lot of people there. Like, and Jeff is a small gym. Like, I don't know if you've seen it before, but that is
seen
a
it on videos,
small
yeah.
gym, and it had to be at least like max capacity is probably like 150. It had to be at least double that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was you know a tight game all the way down to the like final stretch, and you know we came over.
What were you doing that game?
I had a game. I probably had like 17 that game.
Oh.
Yeah, but you know
You was getting to the rack, hitting threes. What was up?
I don't remember the exact details, but I had a couple threes. You know, that was like my main specialty. Like whenever I got hot, I just felt like I could just shoot from anywhere, and that's pretty much what I was doing. So I had like, weren't deep threes, but like probably like 6 feet behind the line.
Okay.
That's deep?
Yeah.
That's not deep. That's like, I feel like that's heat check range, and that's just what it was. So I would shoot those a couple times. Had a couple layups. I remember this. It was on a fast break. I was like trying to like think about going up for a dunk, because this one I was still able to like, you know, at least rim grace at the time.
Okay.
And then I seen like a Jeff player coming, and then I went up, and then instead of like me trying to go for a dunk, I like just like threw the ball in basically because I was like scared like he would like jump or something like that. So like it's just like a toss. It looked like a tossing basically because I thought he would like I thought he was gonna pin my like he was gonna put it on the backboard. So I just like tossed it in like I just wanted to get down, but yeah, I had like 17 that game and it was a high scoring game too. So it was like 87. Where like in the fourth quarter we didn't go to OT that game, did we? No, that was Cardozo. Oh yeah, no, it was like 87. And then I think my teammate, his name is Bryson, he got a stop and then he got a layup at the end. And then Jeff had to score. They didn't score, we got another stop and then they played the foul game. And then we won like 91-87, I think. Something like that.
That's tough. That's good.
Yeah.
So what happened after?
Oh, you want to keep going? And then, so boom, we feel like, you know, we the hottest kids in town. Like, we feel like we could beat anybody. We feel like we could beat 2016 Chino Hills. That's how we feeling. And 2020 Caden them. Like, we really feel like, you know, we them. So, right, we get to the locker room. We start bugging, like, 15C who? Because they had us as 15C. Like, 15C who? 15C who? 15C who? I'm like, yeah, like, you're not on 15C. We're not on 15C. And it was like, Jeff is trash, talking all this, you know, ish about Jeff. I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, it's okay, we beat the 2 seed, but we got to lock back in because, you know, we don't know who we played. It was either going to be Clinton. At the time, we didn't know who we played, but it was school in Staten Island, Curtis. It was either going to be Clinton or Curtis, but we didn't know. But it eventually being Curtis. So we was just hyped and we was just enjoying the moment. Yeah, we was real hype. And then the parents, they didn't want us taking the train back. So they like came together and it was like they could put like a different amount of people in each car. So yeah, that's how that happened. And then
What are you about to pull out?
No, I'm about to get water.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm about to get water.
I thought you were about to break something out from there.
Nah.
Oh no.
This is the most I ever smoked in my life. So yeah, like the parents took us home, and then
Valid car ride.
yeah, I forgot what I was listening to, but I was listening to some good music. Not gonna lie.
Young boy.
Nah, I don't like one Young Boy.
What?
Young Boy sound like when he go to the stool, he got a cigarette in his mouth.
I don't tolerate no young boy disrespect.
That's not disrespect. That's just me being straight up. Don't get me wrong. The
disrespect.
music sounds hardcore. Like I would listen to it, but I'm not gonna be like, let me. I want to hear Young Boy. Like,
Who would it?
nah, I just feel like if you feel like a menace, that's when you listen in.
Okay, bad. So the car ride back was cool.
Yeah, the car ride was good. We was talking in the group chat. We spamming the group chat. We was like, yo, because we found out Curtis won. So like, yo, Curtis won.
Oh, you had the upset basically.
Yeah, we upset Jeff.
Yeah,
It was an upset. We were the 15 and we beat the 2 seed.
Yeah.
So
it is real.
we was just dumb hype. And what?
Nothing.
Oh, we was just dumb hype. And then we was texting in the group chat. Found out we was gonna play Curtis, and then we just used that as more motivation to just go to Staten Island. And you know, I never been to Staten Island, but we're gonna get to that part. But we was just, you know, happy and just enjoying the moment. But we knew it was more work to be done. But you know, we was just high schoolers, just enjoying probably the biggest one of our life up until this point. You
For
know,
real.
so that's pretty much what it was about.
So y'all was back to practice. Y'all was locked in.
Yeah, we had practice the next day because that was a Friday. We beat them. No, it wasn't a Friday. Cause that was a Wednesday.
Saturday
Sorry, that was a Wednesday.
practice
Cause
was
City started Monday, and then we played again Wednesday, and we went to. Yeah, that was either Thursday or Wednesday because
Cool.
varsity had our varsity team. They played in what's that CUNY CCNY?
Wait, what?
CCNY.
See? Oh, City College.
Yeah, City College. Yeah, they played.
It's by my crib.
They had a game that weekend there, and we went to go watch, but we beat them. I want to say it was Thursday. Let's just say for the record, it was a Thursday. So we went Thursday, and then we had practice Friday, and then the weekend we went to go see the varsity team play, whatever. and then they won.
Oh, y'all supporting them?
Yeah,
That's
we went to go
cool.
support. You know, that was a good
It's
month
good
for wings. You know,
vibes. Yeah.
our varsity team was in the Final Four, and we was in the Final Four. So you know, support's free.
Another Yukon.
Another Yukon. Yeah, another Yukon. But yeah. So we did that, and then we had practice again Sunday, and Sunday practices are like hardcore too, cause I don't know if you know, but wings we don't have our own gym. Like
Didn't know that.
our school building used to be a factory, so they basically turned anything, literally anything, into a school. And then they like the gym that we have, it has like pillars, like like actual pillars. You know what a pillar looks like?
Yeah.
It has pillars like on the court.
Oh,
So we
no.
just practice there, but it's not in the way, but like it's on the sidelines. So like, and the court is not regulation, so it's small. So like it makes it look like the pillars are on the court.
Oh, okay, bet.
Exactly. So we just like mainly practice in those courts, but it didn't really hold us back. But Sunday practices, you know, we don't take for granted, or we didn't take for granted, because you know, that's like the one of the only times in a week that we have like the main court. So you know, and we had a big playoff game. So you know, we had Sunday practice and we was just locked in. You know, we was talking, switching, whatever. You know, we was actually dialed in. And then Monday, the big day, we played Curtis. And going in, I was nervous because I never been to Staten Island a day in my life.
Y'all took the ferry?
No, we was doing so good. They gave us a coach bus.
Oh, wow.
They gave us a coach bus, or a coach van, one of them. Yeah. So, you know, I really didn't know like what to expect going in. I didn't know like if the jitters was gonna get me because I'm playing somewhere I never even been. You know, it's just like, what do you even go to Staten Island for?
Not for real.
Exactly. So it's just like, I'm going to Staten Island for a basketball game. Like that's anything. Like I don't know. Like, but so we went there, and then on the way there, like you know, we making jokes. We had you know like how like those teams be having like that one kid like I just like joke on, play around with.
Yeah, that was you?
No.
Oh.
Why would that be me? No. We had this one kid. His name we called him B-Mac, and then the whole time like we would just like play around with B-Mac, and then even though kind of like you know it's not the most you know logical or ethical way you know to you know bond with your teammates, but like that's kind of how we bonded. He was jacking it too, like he liked it. So
Right.
you know like we would like just joke around with B-Mac, you know, hit his head, you know, hype him up, get B-Mac hype, because you know if B-Mac is hype, the whole team is hype.
Oh, it's one of those situations. Okay, bet.
Yeah,
Got
so
it, got
and
it.
you know when B-Mac scored, because he got subbed in one game, when B-Mac scored, you know the whole team went crazy though. So it's like when B-Mac is in a good mood, the whole school is in a good mood. Put it like that.
Very nice.
So yeah, you know we was just on the way there, getting activated, and you know going to the school. It was like Curtis looks like a college. Like Curtis might be a little bit smaller than Barry, but it could go for a college campus. But it was a big school. We had like a lot of
Yeah.
you know inconvenience trying to get into the school. So that was like a challenge in itself. And
What
it kinda,
happened?
like it was just a lot of like navigation, like you know, like trying to find a gym and just finding where to park and just the entrance and stuff. It was just a lot.
Okay, bet.
So we just needed to find the gym, and that was a challenge. And eventually we found it, but it kind of delayed like our workouts and like us changing. So the work we probably were like 25 minutes late to like our warm ups, and you know, it was my job and you know my teammates to lock in. So, you know, we had to lock in during warm ups. And one of my teammates, I think two of them, but I remember one of my teammates was sick. And that kind of like, it didn't throw me off, but like, it kind of like, the uncertainty came back, because it's like, out of all games now, like, you sick. Like, it's the playoffs, so it's like, I don't know, but, like, it just felt uncertain. And then, the vibe just felt off too. Like playing like in a crowd like that, like Curtis, it's just a bunch of kids. Like I would have never thought I played in. Like I don't even know how to like describe it, but like just the vibe and the environment just felt like, I guess it was just really something new to me. I never been to Staten Island, so it was just you know an interesting experience. But yeah, let me talk about the game.
Yeah, of course.
All right, and then So we start the game, and if I could be mistaken, but I don't think we ever trailed that game. I could be mistaken though, but it was close the whole game. Like
So they were close to y'all.
yeah, but I don't think we ever trailed. If anything, we probably were down for probably like 2 minutes of the game, but we were right back. But it was close the whole game.
Okay, bet.
And then me, like I said, I had the jitters, and I was, not playing to my best, and I was kind of in my head a little bit. Up until the fourth quarter, I probably was like, I want to say probably like 2 for like 11. So, it kind of like got to me like I'm not having the best game, but these are what you have teammates for in life. Teammates, they lift you up,
Yeah.
they support you, they tell you they got you even though when you don't got it, and that's exactly what I had. So my teammates stepped up. Shout out Terrell. Shout out who did good that game. I'm trying to think who was on that team. Shout out Terrell. I think Ba, you did good that game. Shout out Ba. Shout out the whole team. We won, but Terrell, he hit it was like 57-57, and then Terrell with like I want to say like 10 seconds left, he hit like a clutch three, and then they gave us the lead, and then I think we got a steal, and then we threw the ball and like celebrated, and then we won.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then we was happy. We was going to the Elite Eight because that was the sweet. No, sorry, that was the Final Four. We were going to the Final Four. Yes, we were going to the Final Four.
I thought y'all was going to the championship. What?
No. That's not the chip. Because first round, that's the round of 32. That's Far Rockaway. Second round was the Sweet 16, Jeff. And then this is the Elite Eight, Canarsie. I mean, not Canarsie, Curtis.
Curtis. Okay.
Yeah. And then next was the Final Four.
Season going super good.
Yeah, we was really like, we was really locked in, and then just what media and just what everybody else was saying with us, like even our own school didn't believe us. It was like,
damn.
Oh, 15. Like in the beginning, it was like, oh yeah, 15 seed. Like Wings never been a 15 seed. Wings never did this. And then, for us to just lock in when it mattered, shows why March is the best month for basketball. But we just locked in and then just proved everybody wrong and just used the critics as motivation and fuel, and then got to the Final Four, and that's.
And who was that against?
That was against Cardozo, Judges.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So what were y'all already feeling? Well, what were you feeling and thinking going into that game? Final Four, your first Final Four. Now it's Cardozo. Some Queens team.
Yep. So Cardozo was the third seed. Yeah, they were the third seed because the top 4 seeds meet in the Final Four. So yeah, they were the third seed, and Cardozo was good all year. And did we play them? No, I don't think we played them, but we seen them play. We seen them play like at 3 like non-league jamborees or like whatever they call.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we seen them play. I like a lot of them, and every team they playing, like they were giving them a challenge. So, we knew like this was gonna be the hardest game. Like respectfully, it was gonna be harder than Jeff because like they just don't like their discipline. They gotta like their coach is like one of like the most winningest coaches in like New York City or something like that for high school basketball. So we knew like we had a real battle test for us. So it wasn't gonna be easy by any means. And I didn't want my performance this game to possibly hinder or affect my team going into the next game. I wanted to do the most mature thing possible and just move on from it and just use it as a learning experience and just appreciate my teammates for picking up my slack and ultimately getting the win for the game. And going forward to the next game, I just wanted to have a clean mindset because we're gonna need everybody on the A game, even BMAC. we gonna need everybody on the A game. We need good energy, good vibes. So yeah, that night when we got home from Staten Island, it was a long ride. It was a mad traffic, but
Of course it is.
Yeah, we got home, texted the group chat as usual, told everybody like come locked in, cause I think this was we played Curtis Monday, Tuesday. So yeah, our Final Four game was a Thursday. So yeah, we was like we need like this could possibly be our last practice of the year. So we need to,
For sure.
take it serious. So tomorrow, everybody come locked in. We need everybody in the gym 30 minutes before practice, putting up shots. Like this is our most serious practice for the whole year. We playing, arguably the best team in the 5 boroughs. So, it's essential that we bring our A game, and it starts now in practice. So,
How you practice is how you play.
exactly. So, I had a good night's sleep. My mom made some food, ate it, went to bed, and then woke up the next day, went to school. And then
Went to school feeling like that guy.
yeah, and then like every win we had, they like mentioned it like on the loud horns.
Yeah, I love that.
Exactly.
When the announcers, yeah.
So like as we got closer to the championship, like that just felt good because like first round, Wings beats Far Rockaway. Second round, Wings upsets the number 2 team in the city. Next round, Wings goes to Staten Island and beats Curtis and advances to the Final Four for like the 4th straight year or some shit. I don't like that. But yeah, it was just fun, and I just like it just felt good, being a part of that and just building a culture in such a small amount of time of being there and just playing basketball at its best when it mattered.
Yeah.
But the next day, we had practice. Everybody came locked in. Everybody came on the A game. Pretty good practice. We was intense in practice. The intensity was there. We didn't really, play around like that. I mean, obviously we played around, but we didn't like play around to the point where like we're distracted or anything. But we was really locked in. We felt good going into Thursday, and yeah, we was just ready. Like if me or Bryson or anybody else has a bad game, it's just a next man up mentality. Basically, that's like how we felt.
Why you stop?
Oh, you want to keep going?
Yes.
I was just gonna ask you like about the like. So how did you feel going into the game? Like,
Oh, my bad. How did you feel going into that game? What was Mel on?
So when we went into the game, right? Believe it or not, there wasn't even a lot of people there for real.
At Cardozo?
Yeah, cause I guess like Cardozo's like in the middle of nowhere. Like it's no trains around there. It's only like one bus, and it's like a miscellaneous bus. Like
I'm not gonna lie, that's how like Queens is.
yeah, it's in Corona. You know what's that?
No.
Corona, it's like in the middle of Queens. It's like literally like in the middle, but it's like
Only
in the middle.
Corona I know is in the Bronx. Dude, that's Cortona. Anyway.
You should have just said COVID.
Oh.
That's Cortona. But yeah, so like it wasn't really a lot of people there, and like that kind of like threw me off a little bit because I'm like, it's a Final Four game. I'm expecting more people here.
Nah, yeah, for sure.
But I didn't let that bother me. But going into the game, everybody's locked in. We do our before every game we do our little like chant. Our like high schools have a chant. Ours is like PC, everybody eat. PC, everybody eat. PC, everybody eat. Game time, game time, game time. Yeah. And then we like smack B-Max head, and then that's how we get lit. But we took that one like really strong, and we took a lot of pride in that one because like. It's Final Four, it's when I go home, there's no saying we play another game after this. Even if we win this game, we got one more game after this. So, every second mattered with the team and just being there and just enjoying just being there. So, going into the game, like we said, we knew it was gonna be an intense game, so they were like pressing the whole game, like one of those teams. Like how you watch like Nova, like their basketball team?
Yeah, of course.
They press the whole game.
Yeah.
The whole game. And that's how like they win because like they just tire teams out the whole game. But like similar to them, like they play like a lot like them. Like they just play like disciplined ball and just press the whole game. So we had to like run
You
out.
didn't do no scout in practice? You didn't do scout in practice?
We did. We knew like who their best player
Okay,
was and like the
okay.
type of plays they ran. They had like this like 3-guard system. Like they just run their offense through like 3 guards or whatever. But we knew like what we were playing and just like type of team they were. But we just knew like if it's one thing they're gonna be, it's gonna be discipline. Like we're not gonna be able to like, not saying we can't, but it's gonna be really hard to like
Yeah, for
take the
sure.
discipline out of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were just we wanted to be strategic on how we wanted to win the game. So just running our plays, breaking the press break. We had a couple silly turnovers in the beginning.
Did you have a turnover?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you know, like when you think you open on the press, but like the trap just come out of nowhere.
Oh,
It was like
yeah.
one of those, and then
Oh, damn.
nobody came to the ball, so I tried to throw it, and then
Oh.
still, yeah, one of those. But yeah, it was just one of those, and then we like good thing we didn't let that like snowball us because we kept it close the whole game. Like they led a majority of the game, but it was times where we had a lead, and there's times where we had more momentum in them, but we didn't want to let one silly turnover or one detrimental thing, be the end of our season.
Facts,
But
yeah.
so I feel like we were really mentally strong that game, and I feel like we didn't let ourselves beat ourselves. Even though we made a couple of decisions, a couple mistakes. We still like did what we had to do, but like I said, the whole game was close, and we like stuck it out with them the whole time. One of the best teams, if not the best team in the whole like city. So, Final Four game, it's coming down to the wire, and the game is tied. I think it's another close game, like in the 60s, maybe 70s, but they have the ball to try to win it, and eventually I think they missed, so we go to overtime. I don't remember exactly, but I know how they won the game. No, but I don't know how. Like, I don't remember how like the play was that was designed for them to go like to miss the shot. If you get what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I know in overtime it was back and forth. Like overtime is like 5 minutes in high school, so it probably was at least like 6 lead changes in 5 minutes, like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So eventually, it come down to the wire. And mind you, I'm not having a bad game. I forgot to mention that. I'm not having a bad game. I probably have about like 20 points, so I bounced back from 5 points to 20, doing my thing, my teammates doing my thing, Bryson doing his thing, everybody else doing their thing, Bob doing his thing, everybody doing their thing. So, so boom. It's like 27 seconds on the clock, and the score's either in the 70s or 80s, and they I know I remember, like I still think about this play to this day. It haunts me, right? So we're in the zone, and
2-3.
yeah, and it was working for us the whole game, so we didn't see why not to come out of it. And they weren't really hitting their threes, so we figured to just put 3 in the paint and put 2 up top. So, they're
Where are you in the zone?
up top. Yeah, I'm up top. I'm at the free throw line. Yeah, free throw line. I'm at the left side of the free throw line. So, say the rim is right here. I'm right here at the key,
Okay.
top of the key.
Okay, cool.
So, right, I remember this play so vividly. So, coming down the court, forgot his name, but they're like second best player. He's coming down the court, and they run this play, and I'm thinking it's gonna be like a shot maybe, like, cause it's three people in the paint, and we could just trap them, and there's still time on the clock. So say they get a good look, they
How
could
much
just get a
time was on
stop.
the clock?
Like 27 seconds.
Okay, cool.
But so they come down, and I'm thinking they're running like a design play for a 3. So the guy, he comes in the paint, and like he like has like he doesn't have a freeway, but my help doesn't come, so he's able to like maneuver himself to like a better position. So I'm in front of him, and right, the help, and his name is Armani. He's in the help, so he's like in the middle between the key and not the key, the box and the 3-point line. So the guy, he's coming down, right? So he's coming down. He got the ball in his right hand. So Armani comes help, right? So he comes to help because we know we don't live with the 3 because it's a tie game. But I would rather him take the 3 than have an easy layup.
For sure.
So Armani comes. He tries to bump over to wall up so he has a better chance of getting a stop. So he comes, and the guy, right? I never seen a Euro step like this a day in my life.
He hit
ever.
a Euro on you?
No, it wasn't on me. It wasn't on me.
I know.
I was sticking with him. It wasn't on me. I never seen a Euro step a day like this in my life. So he has the ball, and he acts like it was a good. That was like one of the best Euro steps I've ever seen. Not gonna lie. He like faked it like so hard, like you would think the ball came out his hand. Like he like Euroed this way and then swung it. Like he swung it back over and then like laid, but like it's nobody on the right side. So Armani like thought he was gonna like throw it to the corner, so he ran to the corner. So the right side is open and I'm on his left side of his body. So I don't want to foul. So like, I like try to like contest it, but eventually he made it. Yeah, and then it's like 10 seconds on the clock at this point. And then we try to come down, do a little two. And then I think we lost the ball in the paint or something like that. And then we try to foul.
Wait, who turned it over?
I don't remember who. I don't
thought
remember
it was
who.
you.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I should have shot the ball though, but it wasn't me. I remember my mom always like she still tells me today. She's like, you should have shot the ball. And even my teammates from back then were like,
They still talk about that to this day?
you should have shot the ball.
Oh,
You should have shot the ball. Yeah, I should have shot it. I'm not gonna lie, I should have shot it. But we were trying to feed the hot hand, so we were trying to run a play for Bryson, and then instead of like we thought the paint was open or something like that. So I think I passed it and they passed it to the paint, and then he dropped it, and then we had to play like the foul game, and then they go up 4, and then we got like 3 seconds to make 4 points, and then come down, try to shoot a 3, miss, and then that's ball game. Yeah, but we lost to that Euro step. I mean, the turnover, yeah, but that Euro step is like killed our morale, basically. Yeah. That was like one of the meanest Euro steps I ever seen in my life. And trust me, I'm from New York City, so I know what a Euro step looked like.
not for sure.
That was crazy.
So it was up after this point.
You said what was up?
Yeah, like after the game. Like,
Man,
did the tears hit right then and there?
I didn't cry. I swear I didn't cry. I didn't cry. I just wanted to keep playing.
Oh yeah.
And this is funny. I'm not gonna say his name, but one of my friends, right? He was like, the only reason he was sad is because he wanted, because like when you go to the chip, they say your name. He said he wanted to go to the chip just so they could say his name. So like that like kind of like made me laugh like in the moment. He's like, damn, I wanted to go to the chip so they could say my name. I'm like, gang, but not yet. But you know, obviously taking a hard loss like that hurt. You know, we had him. All we had to do was execute down the stretch, come up with a couple more stops, and just play more smart. But, you know, it's life. You know, you got to learn from your mistakes.
For
and,
sure.
you know, it's unfortunate we couldn't come up with the win. But it was definitely a learning experience, you know.
It was a great run, too.
Exactly, you know.
Yeah, I give it St. Peter's right now.
St. Peter's was 15 too? Wait, was that? And that was the same year.
For real?
That was 2022.
Yeah, like 2021.
Exactly, that was 22. That was the same year too.
Oh.
See?
Oh.
It's really magic in March. Why do you think they call it March Madness? No, they need to call it March Magic.
Maybe
'Cause-
you should call it that.
We're gonna call it that. NCAA, if you see this, change it from March Madness to March Magic.
Nah, for sure. I'm jacking that one.
I'm trying to tell you, and then y'all gonna start having more Cinderellas. Y'all gonna have 2 16 seeds playing in the final game. I'm telling you, watch.
Are you calling it for next year?
Mhm.
Heard. So what happened after this point?
So yeah, so we lost, you know, taking a hard loss after that. So this is when like season is over, obviously, and a lot of people on the team stopped coming to school
No way.
because like they were like, you know, not hurt, but they just felt like they felt unmotivated by attending school because there was no more basketball. Like basketball was like their only like, you know, motivation for going to school. So that kind of like stopped them from going to school, I guess. And then I was still going to school because, you know, like I said,
Student athlete.
books first. Yes. Books first. And then, you know, the varsity season, they lost in the Final Four too.
Dang.
Yeah, they
To
lost.
whom?
So UConn was out. No more,
Okay, who they
no
lost
more
to?
UConn. But wait, what you said?
Who did they lose to?
Oh, South Shore, I think.
Okay,
South Shore.
that seems realistic.
Yeah, South Shore. But yeah, so you know, yeah, it was just the end of that chapter. But this is like when I started to make my transition towards varsity, I guess. So you know, during like the, I guess, off season.
Yes.
Like after school, like the coach Bill, he would have like, you know, these varsity workouts, and then like the 10th graders from this year would go to those workouts, you know, because they were gonna be varsity players next year. So that's mainly like what the spring was like for school season, yeah.
All right. How were the workouts? Were they super different from JV?
The workouts itself, it wasn't nothing I was used to, but it was definitely like whole different like intensity because this is varsity. So there's like it's not JV, it's not saying, and mind you, I've done like varsity workouts before because I don't know if I said this, but I worked out with the varsity like team before. Remember I told you that?
Yeah,
I
you
worked out
did.
with the varsity team before this, so like I knew what it was like. But like doing that consistently, it was just like a whole different like vibe and just a whole different perspective because it's varsity basketball like I said, and it was definitely fun. It was way more competitive. Guys are
Levels?
levels. But yeah, the guys, I was just about to say bigger, stronger,
Yeah.
taller. So you just gotta get in there and prove your point. And for the most part, I think that's what I did. Right.
You did. And you was on varsity.
Mm-hmm.
So after having a Cinderella magical season, how did you go into varsity?
Okay, so to prepare myself for varsity, I feel like the best way to do that was to play for a better AAU team. Not saying the team that I was playing for in the past wasn't, but I feel like it was time for a change in the AAU scenery. So
Facts, especially getting exposed to all this basketball.
exactly, and making a Final Four run, that like fueled me to go ballistic this summer.
It fueled you for anything.
You get it. You get it. But that like fueled me to just want more for myself. So like over the spring and most of the summer, I started playing for this AAU team. It's called New Jersey Hilltoppers. They're like Under Armour circuit. I went to one of their tryouts because I was like referred to from like I think it was my dad, but because my dad lives in Jersey. But I was referred to, and then we went to like the tryout, and then after the tryout was cool. It was like a small tryout, make 5 layups, stuff like that, layup line, 3-man weave, scrimmage, regular stuff like that. But after the tryout, I connected with this one coach. His name is Coach Ron. Shout out Coach Ron. He's like he was like one of like the main coaches there, and he like wanted to like connect me because like he was like interested in me, and he knew that I was from New York, and he just wanted to keep me around to see what I could do. So he like took me in and started playing in a lot of tournaments in the summer and the spring through him, and playing in those tournaments, like I was like playing against varsity like competition. I was playing against, how old was I? I was 22. So I was 16, sorry. I was 16 playing against 18-year-olds because I remember playing up, and I was playing in the showcase. It was like a varsity showcase. And I was just like one of the tournaments I was playing in to like just be ready for the season. And he just, wanted to throw me in the fire. So appreciate Coach Ron.
For sure. Did that work well when you went into your varsity year?
For the most part, I would say, because it kept me active, physically active, and that's the main thing, is just getting reps in and just being around what you're gonna be playing against. So, building a repetition of playing against kids that were bigger than me and older than me, and just at a not older experience, but just kids that were older than me, I guess. Playing against them really like prepared me for what's to come. I played in like a lot of tournaments where like I'll play against a lot of kids in Jersey, and most of those kids like went to like top high schools in Jersey, like Hudson Catholic, Bergen,
Union City?
Union City, T-Night, like pretty much any top high school Jersey school you could think of. So playing against those kids really like, gave me more of a competitive edge like for the spring and summer. And going into this high school season, I was ready. I didn't see what was like really stopping me, but like I said, it's just throughout high school was just a lot of whole uncertainty. So, that was just like the main thing I was really worried about. But, I just felt like it wasn't nothing I can't handle.
Nah, of course. So what did that do for you, like individually?
What, AU?
No, your season.
Like, how was it?
Yeah.
So like the season, going into the season, like I said, it was just a lot of uncertainty. But like I knew like, I wouldn't be here if I couldn't do it. So, it was more of a me, toughing it out and just me like, you know, being strong mentally, physically, and just knowing that there's nothing I can't do in life and just being willing to accept what's in front of me. So I was just mainly relying on that rather than just putting myself down because, I'm not in the same situation I was as JV.
Yeah.
So, I didn't want to, cry, not cry, but I didn't want to like, just throw everything out and just say I'm not doing this no more. So, I was willing to, try this and see how it could go. And then like in the beginning, it was cool, like the summer league games that I was playing with the varsity team, they were good. I had my moments, we won a couple of games. It was fun, it was just a way of team bonding at an early stage of the season. And preseason, I started a couple games. Like I said, all of this is just to just bond and just build chemistry for the season. So, in the beginning, it was cool. I didn't really complain. It's just, it was just me trying to find my role and finding like where can I like fit in for this team.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really like have no like problems with that it's up to me to like define my role. It's not in nobody else's court. Like, what I want to get out of this is what I'm going to get out of it, basically.
Yeah, for sure. Like you just keeping it simple, staying level-headed. Yeah, that's cool. But did you feel like you could grow there that year?
See, like, that's like where like it gets tricky because I didn't really feel like, how do I say this? Oh man, how do I say this?
Think about it.
I don't want to word nothing the wrong way.
Not to put words in your mouth, but maybe like wasn't the right school at the time? Or team
No, I
at the
thought it
time?
wasn't the right school. It just didn't feel like a team.
Okay.
Put it like that. Like going to, not saying I got bored, because bored is crazy to say, but going to school with the same people that like I would play varsity basketball with and then, just make jokes with in the hallway and just see every day. And then on top of like the uncertainty that I have like with the team, it just like made things like questionable. But
Like, is this serious or not?
like with me, like do I take this serious or like does the team feel serious?
Does the team feel serious?
Yes and no, because I'm not like everybody on the team was talented, but it just didn't feel like we had a basketball team. It just felt like you just put a bunch of players on the team and then, we got a great coach just coaching us basically. But like
No real structure.
discipline, yes. Like
Okay.
that the varsity team we had lacked a lot of discipline.
Ugh.
So that's what it was. It just we weren't like this, how you say it? Disciplinary inclined. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how you say it, yeah.
Okay. So that affected you mentally? Like your motive for basketball? At Wings?
Yes and no, because I made it this far, so I didn't want to, just forgive up. Like I said, I didn't want to be negative. I like to approach everything optimistically, but
For sure.
definitely like questioning like with the team, like, is this a team? Like, it's just more like in the moment stuff, like moment thinking, and just if I'm here, like, how would this affect me long term?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
How is this putting you in a position to be better, to grow for the next level?
Like, where am I now?
Like that's what you were thinking back then.
Yeah. But you asking me a question?
No.
Oh, because that sounds like a question.
No. Like, was that how you looking at it back then?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. That sounded like a question. That's all.
My bad.
Are you good?
But what were you doing during the season? Like during games and stuff?
Like, what was my role?
Yes.
So, like, throughout the whole season, I would be like back and forth. So, like I said in the beginning, it was more me trying to like find myself and just trying to have an identified role. And then throughout the season, eventually as I started to get like more comfortable and like with the practices, you know, games and just the system that's being ran on a varsity level, I would be like intertwined between starting and varsity. I mean, starting and coming off the bench.
Okay.
So, you know, that was something, but it just didn't feel like this is like the appropriate system for me. Like, I feel like if I was like, it's all about your situation. Not saying I was in a horrible situation, but if I was in a better situation, I feel like, you know, it would have been
What would have been a better situation for you?
Only God knows.
Okay, cool.
Only God knows. But and it's not even like nothing like to do with like the coaches or players. It's just, you know, that's just sometimes you just grow out of certain stuff. So I feel like, you know, like I don't know how to word it. It's just
Maybe it was kind of awkward. No. Maybe it just no longer served as.
Like, I just didn't feel like because at this point in time, like, I just didn't feel like I was at school or like playing basketball just because of who I was surrounded by.
Oh,
But
okay.
like that doesn't take away from the people who like who they are. Like, I was around like some cool ass people.
Maybe because you cursed.
Donkey. That means 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 donkey. Search it up.
We'll talk about it. But do you feel like because the varsity team was so different from your JV experience that it just didn't like meet your expectations?
Yes, and then especially how I didn't even have 2 years of JV, so I didn't even get time to like marinate or like time to
Settle in.
exactly. Like, if I like, you know, got nurtured into what it's like to actually play high school basketball, then maybe it would have been different. But that freshman year being taken away probably definitely plays a huge role in like why I probably felt like that.
That's horrible.
Yeah, but not taking away nothing from the coaches that were there, you know, great coaches. The players that were there, you know, great people, funny people, whatever. But it's more of a personal thing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not what you was used to nor expecting.
Yeah, you know. That's when I kind of like, you know, emphasize on expecting the unexpected. You know, sometimes you just gotta expect anything.
For real. Be prepared for everything.
Right.
So how did the rest of the season go?
So, you know, I'm still like, you know, trying to find my role, bouncing back and forth between starting, you know, bench, whatever, trying to stabilize some confidence, whatever. But throughout the season, I was like battling like a lot of injuries. So my first injury was like my knee, and this was like in November. It was
Which knee?
It was my right knee. So I had like tweaked it and it like hyperextended. So I was out for like 3 weeks, and then, you know, having injuries just added on to like the uncertainty of like what was going on, my role, my confidence level, and just where I'm at. So, you know, just being injured was the worst possible thing.
Okay, before you continue, how did you get hyperextended? How did that happen?
So the first time I hyperextended my knee, it was I think from trying to dunk, and then I like landed.
Oh my God.
And then I like moved it, and then it like twitched a little bit, and then it hyperextended. But it wasn't nothing crazy, cause like I said, I had like arthritis my whole life, so like I've been
Oh,
used to having like I corrected myself. I corrected myself. I've been used to having, messed up knees,
yeah.
my whole life. So I just was just gonna recover, rice method, and then boom.
I hyperextended my knee before too, my left one.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Yo, like it wasn't horrible. It wasn't bad. I was able to walk, but even now to this day, sometimes, like if it bends back, I'm like I could just see myself going down.
Yeah, I didn't get that
Yeah.
bad. I only was like resting
Like
for
you know,
like
young boys' legs, like when they bend back, like that.
Oh, nigga, I ain't get that bad with this knee at least.
Nah, yeah. If it goes back, sometimes I'll be like about to fall. But okay, so continue with your injuries.
So yeah, so like that was like the first like injury that I really experienced that like just messed up everything. No, not everything, but what I had going on. Like, say I would build up a little momentum, and then an injury or like something miscellaneous would happen, and then boom, right back down. But it wasn't the end of the world. And then second time I got injured, this is crazy story, but it was during January. It was like the end of January. It was a showcase. It was a like we said earlier, like a jamboree showcase.
Mm-hmm.
And then regular stuff, layup line, warming up regular, and then the game start. And I didn't start this game. I came off the bench this game. So when I came in, like it was literally as soon as I came in. So, right, I shoot a three, I miss, and then and then I get back on defense. And as I'm getting back on defense, you're not supposed to play heavy footed. You're supposed to play light footed, like when you play basketball, especially when you play like basketball. So
Especially in transition.
yeah, especially in transition, So I was getting back, and then so the defender's coming, or not defender, the offensive player is coming towards me, and I'm running back. So it's basically a 2-on-1. So he passes the ball, and then out of instant reaction, I like plant my feet already planted. So I like turn like suddenly, and like my knee popped, but like I didn't feel it in the moment. So right, I'm still playing, whatever. So halftime come around, we warming up, and then that's when I feel like my knee locked. Like it just locked, and then it unblocked like in 5 seconds. So I try to give it a go, and then when I got subbed back in the game after halftime, it just locked again, and I told the coach I can't play, like it hurts. And then I'm thinking it's like what happened to this knee, but like it turned out it was actually worse.
So you was basically done with basketball.
No, I wasn't done with basketball.
Your knee is messed up though. Feel me?
No.
So what were you doing after that?
After I tweaked my knee.
Yes.
So boom, right? So I'm thinking it happened. But I'm thinking what happened to this knee happened to this knee when I hyperextended it back in November, right? So I just iced it.
But hyperextending your knee and popping your knee is two different
I know.
things. Okay.
But if like it had like the same like feeling, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay.
So I iced it for 2 weeks, missed practice, missed the games, told the coaches they was cool with it, whatever. Boom. So I come back, try to practice. And then like the same feeling that that happened in the game happened again during practice. So I'm like, is it too early to come back? Like, do I need to rest some more? What's going on? So then, I rest again, missed another 2 weeks. So I'm like, I feel good. Like don't feel nothing. I'm able to bend my knee, rotate it, whatever. So I go to some open runs. So then I go, and mind you, I took the bus there. So that's how I was serious. I wanted to play basketball. So, took the bus there. And then, first game I didn't feel nothing. Second game I didn't feel nothing. But I guess they say third time is a charm. So the third game, the same exact thing happened to my knee that happened to this knee, for the third time. So then, it's like 2 weeks left of the season. So I'm like, after the season, I'm gonna go to the doctor because I might as well. So, right, boom. So I go home on a bus. I'm sad. Like, I'm on a bus with
What bus?
the 19 bus. I was at
Oh,
Riverbank.
dang.
Yeah. So
I was just over there
it was just over there. When?
during the winter break.
Oh, was I there?
During like Christmas type?
Yeah, I know though. I'm just trying to think. Was I there though?
Probably not.
I don't know. Anything be happening. But now, but so
On the 19 bus, sad.
yeah, I was on the 19 bus
That's
side.
a long bus ride.
Man, it was like 40 minutes. 40 minutes of just me on my phone, just with a hurt knee, just hoping that it's not nothing crazy. But, you know, optimism is key. That's what I was. I was very optimistic. So that's what got me through it. Iced it. And fast forward to playoffs. You know, I tell the coach I'm good to play. He said, okay. I didn't start that game, obviously. So it was like 2 minutes left in the first quarter. And then he put me in. And then it didn't pop, but just something felt wrong because I was playing with a brace. But so it felt like if I wasn't playing with this brace, then it possibly would have popped. So I just felt like I wasn't good to play, and I just told him like it just hurts still. So he's like, all right, you need to get it checked out. Told him I was getting it checked out. Went to the doctor. They approved me for an MRI, and then I got an MRI, and then probably the worst news I ever heard in my life to this day. The MRI, he told me I had a bucket handle tear. So for the people who don't know what that is, it's like a bucket hand, like it's literally a tear that looks like a bucket handle. So it's basically like when a piece of your meniscus, because I tore my meniscus, it's like when your meniscus like tears on itself. So it like folded inside. So like it tore. Like that's already enough. Like it tearing. But like when it folds.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I had. And that it tore from continuously playing. I mean, not tore. It folded from continuously playing.
Yeah.
So if I would have probably got it checked out the first time, it probably would have been good. I probably would have only had rehab for probably like 2 months, actually. Yeah, actually 2 months, because that's a common tear. But yeah, so it was a bucket handle, and then I'm not gonna lie, I broke down in the doctor's office. I'm like, it's over, it's over, it's over. And then my mom like, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. And then the doctor trying to do his job, talking about, it's okay, you'll be back 1,000% better. Of course he gonna tell you, trying to do his job. He's a cool doctor though, I'm not gonna lie, cool doctor, you know. He made the process a lot easier, but you know, I just knew it wasn't gonna be the same after. And then
Not for sure.
I was going into my senior year, so I knew it wasn't a speedy recovery. It wasn't gonna be a long recovery, but it wasn't gonna be the quickest. And foreshadow, I rushed it.
I was about to say, so when were you over with it?
What, my rehab?
Yes.
So right, boom. So I started rehab in my first day of surgery, April 11th, 2023. Yeah, April 11th, 2023. So, wait, what's today? Oh, 2 days is gonna be the 3-year anniversary.
Ooh.
So, yeah, in 2 days is gonna be the 3-year anniversary. I had surgery. It was like literally, it was so quick. It was they told me like when I got the MRI, it was like a week before that. They said you could have surgery the week after. I was like, boom, let's get it out the way. So boom, the surgery was probably like only an hour, maybe an hour and 10, something like that. And then they told me that they just cut the piece out. So since they cut the piece out, instead of sewing it back on, it's a speedy recovery. So basically right now I have a half a meniscus, if that makes sense.
No, it does. I'm just thinking about how they do it, like in the operating room.
Like scissors and then just like some gushy, like.
Okay. Okay. Continue.
I'm gonna show you a video.
No.
But so yeah, that's what they did. And then he was like, realistically, if you want to be anywhere near perfect or like how you were, probably like a good 6 months. But
That was too long for you.
yep, and I'm in my senior year, and any athletes who know, senior year, like you ready to bang out, like you got to leave it all out on the table. So, I didn't want to, just not miss any opportunity that was being thrown at me for my senior year. So,
You got it in April.
and then spring basketball started in May,
June, July.
maybe June.
You would have been back by the time the season started.
Now I know that, yes, but I was so focused on playing spring basketball and summer basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but if I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't play summer basketball. But yeah, let me talk about that. But so my rehab, right? I started rehab. My PT, his name was Justin. Shout out Justin. If you see this, shout out you. But he was giving me the right workouts, like the with the band, the elastic band that you use, the ball, treadmill. I felt good. Like I felt like, in all honesty, I feel like I could be back in the next month. But I felt like that because like as soon as surgery was over, they gave me crutches, and then I used the crutches up until I got home. I didn't use the crutches the day after.
Now you're delusional.
I did not use, like, it was so bad. I was outside with my friends the next day with no crutches. We went all the way to Brooklyn.
Nah, Mel. That's wild.
Zeke, Haruna, y'all remember that day we went to Brooklyn after I had surgery, like the day after I had surgery. We went to Brooklyn, and then I felt good. Like I was running.
So
I wasn't
you
playing
felt-
basketball, but I was
You
like,
felt that was a sign because you was done with the crutches. That was a sign that you back. You get
not back. I knew I wasn't back, but I knew like I'll be a speedy recovery. Give me like 2 months. I should be back. Yeah, I was really optimistic after that. Like when I seen I didn't need the crutches, and I was outside the very next day after surgery, I'm like, nah, yeah, it's gonna be a breeze.
April 14th, you was outside?
13th,
No.
13th.
Okay,
I had surgery the 11th. 12th, I had to go to the therapy office to
Oh,
register.
Yeah.
So the day after that, I was outside with no crutches, and the therapist was like, wait, you're not on crutches? You're supposed to have crutches. I'm like, nah, I don't need the crutches. Like, it don't hurt. I'm able to walk. He's like, you should use the crutches to relieve the pain. I'm like, they're already in the garbage.
Nah, garbage?
But I didn't need them. Yeah, I didn't need them. I was good. But right, so I was in the recovery process from like April. Started a week after, so like April 21st to like June 10th ish. And that's exactly when like summer basketball started. Like I would still work out with the school, but like it would be like light workouts, like shoot arounds and just like, non-contact. I covered it.
No, I heard it.
I covered it.
I heard it.
But like I didn't project it though, so it don't count.
This the third time you did that?
No.
That
What
might as well
third
be.
time? Third time? Where you get 3 from?
I've been counting.
What do you get 3 from? The first one, that I was at an animal.
No, you didn't.
That's an animal.
No, you didn't.
I was recovering, and then my coach, he said that he was gonna put us in like summer leagues and spring leagues and all these other stuff. So, and there was gonna be scouts there. So, it was not in me to sit out and not participate in the spring and summer events. So, what did I do?
Played in them. All of them.
Exactly, even the outside ones.
On the concrete.
Mhm,
Did you
and-
play in Tri-State?
No, not with
Thank
that.
God.
Not there. No, but and that's why I feel like I
'Cause
went
I probably
wrong.
would've-
Like even though I just played in the gym tournaments that we had, the fact that I played on concrete after 2 months post surgery, that's what like messed it up even more. But you live and you learn.
For sure. So how did you approach the season? Your final high school season.
So where do I begin? So like I was like looking forward to it because one, it's my last season, so I have to like make the most out of it regardless of like how I feel, and what it's gonna come with. But not only that, but because my JV coach became the varsity coach
Oh, tough.
from 10th grade. So, it was like a sign of like a sign of gratitude. Like I felt like I looked forward to it basically because I have a relationship with this guy. He knows who I am as a player. He's familiar with me. I'm familiar with him. So like, you know, there's like a relationship there. So it should be something to look forward to. So I was excited. I was ecstatic. I was looking forward to what was gonna be my senior year. So senior year, like in the spring, in the fall leagues, we had like these like preseason tournaments, and like we didn't do so good. So we had like other transfers from like different schools come into ours, and like it kind of like was like not at the right time, but it just wasn't at a good time. So we had like a bunch of like we had like 5 different kids come in. So yeah, I had to like click in, and the season starts in a month. So we like had like chemistry issues in the beginning. We had like ego issues. This person feels better than this person. This person feels like he's this person. So it was just chaotic, and we have like a month left before school. So I feel like if these guys would have came in the spring, if they would have been here even last year, we would have been in a way better position. But since
Yeah, could have been nipped all that in the bud.
exactly. But since we like coming from like all different like literally different situations, it's like hard to intertwine with each other. So
Especially supposed to be so fast.
exactly, and the season is next week. So that was like the biggest challenge we faced. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sorry, ballers, we had to get about the studio because someone was telling their story. So you was on this season with a whole bunch of new guys. Y'all started the season. Well, y'all didn't start the season, but before the season, it was like a awkward stage. You couldn't really eliminate all the distractions, like you would have had if y'all started back in the spring. So how was that for you?
It was definitely a challenge, but I felt like it's my senior year. I gotta make the best out of what I can. I don't have no time for should have, could have, would have.
Exactly.
I wanted to make sure that I left it all on the table. So whether that be make certain decisions that were questionable, or like in hindsight wasn't the best decision, I went with like what I felt like what was best for me, and what I feel like I could have benefited off the most, because like I said, it was senior year, and I was desperate. I was desperate on like trying to make sure I was trying to have the best year possible, basically.
Okay. And what steps did you take to achieve that?
Um, so obviously have that being rush my recovery with the surgery. I returned way too soon, so you know, coming back in early spring, early summer, that was like the first step I really took, was just rushing my recovery.
But you gotta understand that was that basketball player in you.
Of course, for sure.
Wanting to play in New York City summer ball.
That was the New York in me.
Before you became a ringer.
I was never a ringer.
But like if you didn't play that season, you couldn't play in another high school summer team.
Exactly.
So you would have been
exactly.
ringing.
See, you said it before me. Wait. I'm thinking you're literally giving me, bro. I'm thinking you're saying this is my last summer basketball, like summer basketball. So if I didn't play, I would have missed out. I'm thinking that's what you're saying. You're talking about ringing, like, bro. I hate you, bro.
Okay.
Don't subscribe. Like.
All right. Talk.
Wait, which I answered.
No, I'm saying like you sped up.
Oh, all right, okay. That was the first step. The second step was reassuring that relationship with my JV coach.
Okay, cool.
I knew he was gonna be the new varsity coach, so I wanted to make sure that we were still good. I wanted to make sure that he still trusts me, and that I'm not going nowhere. Like, he asked multiple times if I planned on transferring, if I planned on going somewhere else, if I planned on having other plans, basically. And I basically told him, like, I'm fully committed to having this
To
last
Wings.
ride with Wings Academy. So, reassuring my coach was like definitely the second step, probably. And then the third step, probably the most important step, was reassuring myself, reassuring that this is what I want to keep doing. This is what I want to, this is where I want to be at. Is my body right? Is my mind right? And clearly it wasn't, I wasn't fully evaluating myself properly. It was a lot of bias. It was a lot of, you know, on edge thinking, impulsive thinking, and in the long run, this is the outcome. So
How satisfied are you with the outcome?
I'm I'm not gonna say I despise like what happened. You sure it's gonna pick up?
Just fix it a little bit, or like put it closer.
That's good.
I think we're good.
All right. So yeah, I'm not gonna say I despise the outcome, but like I will say like sometimes I do think about like I wish shit played out.
5-piece combo hot honey rub, Cajun seasoned fries, and a sweet tea. You got that right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like I was saying, I'm not gonna say I despise like how it played out, but sometimes I do think about like it like playing out differently and like if I would have made this decision, how would it affect this? But I don't regret anything. It's who I became today, and